All right, thanks, guys. The Blazers take on the Rockets. That's going to be an 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Houston. Now, the Rockets open the betting as the 6.5-point favorite with the total at 219 and a hook. And since those markets opened this one up, we've seen a little bit of movement on both the spread and the total. We've seen each move up half a point, down half a point, back and forth. But ultimately, we are back at those original opening lines, 6.5, 219 and a half. So once again, Rockets opened minus 6.5. They remain minus 6.5. Total open 219 and a hook. That remains at 219 and a half as well. Houston opened the betting at minus 260. There was a nickel move toward Houston. They're now minus 265 on the money line. 59% are leaning Portland. 69% of the consensus is shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Portland Trailblazers are plus 230 for some money line cash. Now, Houston really struggling this year. They're also 0-3 straight up in their last 3 ball games. They failed to cover in 8 out of their last 10 games as well. Just 2-8 against the spread in their last 10. Now, Houston has scored 108 points or less in 5 out of their last 8 games. Really not putting up the point production this year. They're also 0-4 against the spread at the current number this year. So all 4 of their games at this current point spread, they're 0-4 against the spread. Now, on the other side, Portland, they've covered 4 out of their last 8, taking on losing teams. This Portland squad is also 2-0 straight up in their last couple of ball games, 2-0 against the spread in their last couple of ball games as well. And when it comes to the scoring, Portland is 80% to the over in their games at the current posted total. Meanwhile, on the Houston side of things, very similar story there as well, as they're 3-0 to the over in their trio of games that tipped off at the current point total. They're also 70% to the over in their games on their home court. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean toward the road dog in this one. I like Portland catching points in any situation. So I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it up, and take Portland plus 7 in the over, 219 and a half in that one. And with all that said and done, I just want to take a quick time out and just quickly welcome you to the show. I got some lines and personal leans out for Tuesday night's modified slate of NBA ball games. But before we get into some more of that, I just want to quickly remind you to check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage. With a documented win percentage of 60% for the entire year of 2017, you're certainly costing yourself some valuable information each and every day you're not subscribed. Now, memberships begin at just $1.99 per month. There's also plenty of free content there as well, including my current record. So if you're very curious as to how Brock Page is doing, what's your record ATS, what's your record at NBA, just check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage. That information will it'll be right there in the posts section. It's free for everybody to enjoy. Chances are you will see those records located underneath the $100 bill picture. So anyway, look for the $100 bill. My record will be posted underneath that, and that is on patreon.com/BrockPage. And speaking of that Patreon website, if you are a current patron of mine and you're currently watching me right now, I simply cannot thank you enough. You most certainly make all this hard work, all these videos, all this content, you make it all so much well worth it. All right, so with all that said and done, I'm going to slide back into some more lines and personal leans. Just remember that all starts are at Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got Suns, Spurs, 8:30 tip-off in San Antonio. Now, the Spurs open the betting as the 13-point favorite, and the total at 218. And since those markets opened this one up, we're actually seeing a slight fade of San Antonio on the spread. We're also seeing slight movement upward on the total as well. San Antonio is now minus 12.5 with the total moving upward to 218 and a hook. So once again, the Spurs open minus 13 down to minus 12.5. Total open 218 up to 218 and a hook. San Antonio is the $10 favorite on the money line for an outright win. 53% of the consensus is still leaning towards San Antonio. 70% of the consensus is shaded toward the over, and at the moment Phoenix is plus 725 for an upset win. Now, San Antonio, they're the heavy favorites in this one. They're starting to take a little bit of the consensus, but just keep in mind they're 4-7 against the spread when laying the points. 4-7 ATS as the favorite. They're also 3-4 against the spread as the official home favorite. So when they're laying the points on their home court, they've only covered 3 out of 7 there as well. San Antonio's 3-5 against the spread in their last 8 ball games. They're covering just 44% of their games, taking on losing ball clubs. Now, Phoenix on the other side, they faced the Spurs team twice already. They have one cover in those 2 games, 1-1 against the spread versus San Antonio on the year. Phoenix has garnered themselves some marquee covers this season over the likes of the Clippers, Bucks, Sixers, and Celtics this year. So Phoenix not having a great season. They're pretty bad. But when it comes to the number and catching these double digits, they've been keeping it close and getting the job done in certain spots. Now, total-wise, Phoenix is 60% to the over in their games at the current total. A lot of times that's not on them, on their offense. It's on their defense giving up so many points. They're also 2-1 to the over in their second of a back-to-back. Meanwhile, on the Spurs side of things, they're 18-9 to the over overall for the year. They're also 67% to the over in their games at the current posted total. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it up, and take Phoenix plus 13 and the over 218.5 in that one. All right, next and final game for the show. This should be a good one. I know we have a modified slate, a very short slate of games, but we have 2 very good games on the docket with that Blazers-Rockets game. And then we got this next game. I'm talking about Raptors-Clippers. That's going to be a 10:30 tip-off at the Staples Center. Now, the Raptors open the betting as the 3.5-point favorite. We have no total on this game yet. No total posted as of yet, but Toronto did open as the 3.5-point favorite. And since those markets opened this one up, we're actually seeing steady and consistent movement toward Toronto in the early going here. They're now minus 4.5. So once again, the Raptors open 3.5 up to 4.5. No total posted as of yet. We'll probably see that posted at about 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. Latest probably noon. Normally the books don't post much later than that, especially in the NBA. But anyway, I should expect that number on the total to be released by noontime Eastern Standard Time. Now, Toronto opened the betting as $1.60 on the money line. They took a little money. They're now minus 170 for some money line cash. And at the moment, 69% of the consensus is still leaning toward the Raptors. Now, if you're a part of the 69% that are leaning toward Toronto, just keep in mind they really struggled in certain spots when it comes to covering the number. As a matter of fact, they're covering just 30% of their ball games when laying the points. They're just 37% against the spread as the official Vegas favorite. They're covering just 43% of their ball games overall for the year. Toronto has failed to cover in 6 out of their last 9 as the official road favorite. They're also covering just 40% of their games, taking on teams over 500. Now, on the Clippers side of things, they're scoring 116 points per contest. They're shooting 47% from the field as well. This Clippers team has also been very good in the Staples Center this year. They're covering 73% of their ball games at home. That's unbelievable. They're also 4-3 against the spread in their games at the current number. Now, total-wise, Clippers 16-10 to the over overall for the year in all of their games. They're also 7-4 to the over in their games at the Staples Center. Meanwhile, on the Toronto side of things, they haven't struggled scoring points this season. They're scoring 115 points per contest. They're also shooting 48% from the field. So when it comes to the scoring, if that number opens up within reason, I'll probably end up leaning toward the over in that one. It really depends on where that number opens up. But if it opens up within reason, I'm most likely going to lean toward the over in that one. But overall, when it comes to the number, I really like the Clippers catching points on their home court. Like I said, they're covering 73% of their ball games at home. So I really like the Clippers to get the job done on their home court at the Staples Center, catching a couple points. So all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it up, and take the Clippers +5, getting the job done against the number. All right, folks, that is going to do it for me. Before I get out of here, I just want to once again remind you to check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free information on this program, by the way. I really enjoyed delivering it to you. Thank you to all my patrons. If you're a current patron of mine and you're watching me right now, I cannot thank you enough. You always make it worth it. And most importantly, thank you for watching today's program. Don't forget to check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage.